former Director, Legal Services, DSS, now the State Director of Security, Federal Capital, representing the DG SSS. When I look at the topic, citizens' rights and security concerns, it actually gave me concern myself, because it indicates that there is an issue between citizens' rights and security. To me, there is no issue between citizens' rights and security. It's a differences of opinion which all lawyers have. That is why at the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal level we have dissenting judgments. That does not mean the justices are wrong. It's a difference of opinion. So for those of us working with law enforcement agencies, and indeed the executive arm of government, we are not against citizens enjoying their right to the fullest. We are for it. And all legal practitioners, whether in public or private practice, want citizens to enjoy their rights. The only difference is the way we approach it. We in the law enforcement agencies have a duty to perform on your behalf. We didn't give ourselves those duties. You gave us, which is the mandate of the various agencies. And the mandate of those agencies are exercised on behalf of the citizens. And if we do wrong, we feel you should draw our attention to it, which most of our seniors, including those in the high table, will attest to that. They have drawn my attention at various times to some of these issues. And in the DSS, I will tell you, as human beings, operatives can make mistakes. And where such mistakes are made, we take responsibility. We will compensate the victims. We have a lot of examples for that. The issue of living in organized societies, let me take our minds back a bit. Come out of the idea of social contracts. Because before then, what we had was a state of anarchy. Might is right. But human beings come to realize that we can live better if we organize ourselves in societies. And for us to live in organized societies, we must give up some of our rights to the state. That is the idea of social contract. And we can always remember the jurisprudential concepts of Baron Montesquieu, who says, we must all be slaves to the law if we are to be free. Essentially, there's no way you can get absolute freedom. Absolute freedom is synonymous to me to anarchy, because you will do whatever you like, nobody questions you whether you infringe into somebody's right or not. That is not what we advocate for. So for us as citizens of Nigeria, which I'm sure all of us are passionate about, we want to have a better Nigeria. We want to have a developed Nigeria. And above all, we want to have a secured Nigeria. And how do we go about that? I take this meeting as a period of sober reflection for us on how we can build a better country. In most countries, lawyers are leading development, and in Nigeria, we can do the same. I don't need to look at the constitutional provisions which the lead presenter has talked about. Our Constitution has built in a lot of safeguards, telling us that those rights provided in the Constitution are not absolute in order to protect public interests and security of the country. So, if a citizen strays beyond his rights, it is the duty of law enforcement and security agencies to call him back to order. And naturally, based on our legal system, those of us in private practice will come in to ensure that the rights of this citizen that has gone foul of the law is observed. And we work together. There's no animosity. There's no hostility. The object is to have a better society. So, the issue is, how do we strike a balance between security and human rights? At the DSS level, way back in 2021, we observed that, yes, there is need for us to strike a balance. And we invited judges, human rights activists, law enforcement agencies, including members of the legislative and judicial arm of government. We brainstormed. At that forum, the lead presenter was the president of the Court of Appeal. And they gave us a lot of input. And we got one important feedback from that forum. There was a communication gap between the three arms of government. And the second feedback we got was that lawyers and indeed the judiciary are as passionate about national security as anybody. Because 80% of the presentations or papers submitted came from lawyers and members of the bench. And because of the quality of the presentations, the former DGSS approved that it should be peer-reviewed and published in accordance with international standards, so that it will be a reference material for everybody on law and national security. And it was done. The book is available under the title, Legal Perspectives on Overcoming Threats to National Security. It is meant to strike that balance. Because for us, in the security and intelligence sector, you need to have confidence in us for us to enhance your security. If you don't have confidence in us, you won't share vital information. And we need that information to enhance your security. So at the end of the day, if you don't share that vital information, the security threat will increase and it will become a problem to all of us. We are seeing what happened in the Northeast. We are seeing what is happening in the Northwest. encroaching into the North Center, which is unfortunate. So I feel we should all join hands together to enhance the security of our country and make it stronger. On this note, I am calling upon this noble organization, which I am proudly part of, which I cherish, to give us feedback, to give us apt recommendation, which I assure you we will take into consideration. Thank you very much.